Good afternoon. Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. I'm your host, Ric Davis. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I invite you to do so at Prime Real Estate Ric. If you're looking to buy, sell, invest in residential or commercial real estate anywhere in the great state of Texas, but especially here in our lovely city of Houston, I invite you to reach out to me directly at Prime Real Estate Ric. As always, I want to thank everyone in the audience for tuning in this week. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here. As you can see, we got my co-host riding with me, man. Episode 191, man.
Rolling
this fine gentleman, if you've never seen him, heard from him, or met him before, is a highly successful real estate broker, a multi-time author, serial entrepreneur, the proud proprietor of the Pure Hustle clothing brand. Sitting here shining and representing is the Texas real estate king, Mr. LarryWBrooks. What's going on, brother?
Hey, man, I can't call it, man. I love that introduction, man. Even on a day when I'm tired, that introduction just drops the right way, bro.
Oh, no. See, today is one of those episodes, man. It's a long time coming, man.
Yeah.
For all those proud SFA lumberjacks and lady jacks out there in the world, this is the episode you can see the Purple Tower.
Facts.
The Purple Tower is illuminated with victory, LB.
No doubt.
You know, man, it's always cool when you share with our audience a little bit of the background and the relationships between our guests and what you had to do to gain their commitment to have them sit in. So share a little bit with the audience about this week's guest, how far we go back, and how we went about getting this gentleman to sit in with us.
Yeah, man, it's funny, man. This guy actually stopped by our old studio when we first got going with the podcast. But not only that, he's been a traditional, a long-term friend for years, man. Back before, when we was out trying to figure out what we was going to be anyway. Right. What we did know is that we were going to all be amazing athletes while we was lumberjacks, right?
Hey, man, you already know.
So, just to have him here with us today, dropping gems about all the stuff that he got going on, man, I'm excited just to have him in the building, bro.
You know, it's really cool because those who follow the podcast have heard me talk about how long me and you've known each other, how long we've been business partners, and how even at such a young age, in our early teens and early 20s, we could see an entrepreneurial spirit and a business spirit in each one of us that we felt like is something that we wanted to emulate and follow.
Yep.
And this fine gentleman is also one of those people that we can go back and talk about how he inspired people like myself, people like you.
Yeah.
And I told him before we started recording that it was gentlemen like him and his brother that kept me ambitious and kept me hungry and let me know that there wasn't really any limits to this entrepreneurial spirit, man.
Because they were touching and doing things that is now hot that wasn't back then, that you didn't even know about, that you just like, how they getting into that?
Come on, man.
That kind of stuff.
It is funny because so many people who know you from back when we were in college talk about, man, Larry, we would see him. Nobody had hustle like Larry does with your hustle. But I'm sure you could agree, this man's hustle was something to behold. And open my eyes, open your eyes to what's possible out there. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce this week's guest. This fine gentleman is one of the foremost brand ambassadors, one of the foremost independent marketers, one of the most foremost independent business owners and entrepreneurs in the Houston, Texas area. I want to thank him for sitting in. He's a proud SFA lumberjack, represent the basketball program, man. Mr. Kirk White, a.k.a. Prez. Gee, what's going on, bro?
Appreciate y'all, man. I'm so happy to be here, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, look, man. Look, go ahead, bro.
You brothers, first of all, thanks for the intro, but you brothers, man, I ain't gonna lie. When I first met Larry, just watching him hustle, we was in the library.
Oh, man.
He used to walk in with candy.
Yeah.
And, on campus, you don't have access to a lot of stuff.
Right.
So he'd walk through there and you buying candy from him, buying snacks from him. Like, his hustle was crazy back then.
I appreciate that. When I think about it, I just got chills about that, man. I used to get that bread from that candy, though.
Look, man, that bread. What make everything so enlightening, and I want to share this with the audience, is what makes this episode so special, is that all three of us were able to be student athletes at Stephen F. Austin State University, and I want this to shine and show as an example of what higher education and athletics, student athletes, and being able to combine those forces and be of like mind, how far that can take you in life. Because like you said, you used to see Larry moving the candy. When I first met you, Kirk, it was like he played basketball, but he also got businesses. And I was like, he has businesses. So for our audience, man, just let them know, man, your background as a businessman, an entrepreneur, and how you decided to dedicate your life to building your own independent brands and businesses, and how long you've been doing it and from such a young age. So just share a little bit about your background with the audience, please.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. The first time I got interested in entrepreneurship was listening to E40 and Master P.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I really didn't want to rap. I just wanted a record label. I wanted my homeboys to rap, and this was in high school. So I ended up getting a DBA at 16.
Really? Come on, man.
Now, that's not a real game. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So where did the motivation to get a DBA? Was there somebody in your family? Was there somebody
listening to Peanut?
Just listening to
that? When I looked on the back of that E40 album and I seen Sick With It Records and I knew that was his label, I'm like, how do you put that on the back of a tape?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't, that was something that intrigued me. Like, how do you get a business name?
Yeah.
Right.
And they was like, oh, okay, you can go get a DBA. I was just 16.
Yeah.
So I convinced my mom and dad, hey, I had to research it. You go to the county clerk office. Hey, can you take me over there to go get me? You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy,
they thought I was crazy. Like, what you want a DBA for? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, what? So, yeah, that's how it started.
Man.
It's funny because I don't even know if it was your first deal, but I remember when we were on campus in Nacogdoches, and the first time I went through that music store, Hastings.
Yeah.
It's an independent music store chain. They sell books and movies and music. And you had an album on the shelf.
Wow.
In the music store next to Biggie, next to Pop, next to Master P. How did you go about working out that agreement with Hastings? Who walked you into the door? Because I want some of those young entrepreneurs and business owners that you work with now, that you're going to work with in the future, to understand what it took and the nerve you had to have at such a young age to step out there and make those kind of commitments with those large brands. Yeah.
See, it's crazy because growing up in Amarillo, Hastings, the headquarters was based at Amarillo.
Come on. Who knew?
It was based at Amarillo. So the owners, their kids went to school with us.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Get out of here.
Their kids went to school with us. And this was the #1 music store, probably in that part of Texas and, most of the small towns. But I would go in and ask, how do I get my music in here? I would talk to the people that worked in the music store. And they had a thing called consignment.
Yeah.
They had a thing called consignment. So when we finally got some CDs pressed up, I brought some in on consignment.
Yeah.
And, they sold out.
Yeah. That's more
crazy.
They sold out. You know what I'm saying? You had to have a barcode. Back then you had to have a barcode. When it sold, the store kept records of it. So after that, once it sold out in the Amarillo stores, I was like, how do I get them in different towns?
Yeah.
And they told me, hey, you need a distributor.
Yeah.
And that's when I end up, that right there begun my Houston journey, because I started working with Southwest Wholesale.
Yeah.
Right.
Which was a distributor.
Yep.
Because in order to get them in all these stores, you had to go through a distributor.
Yeah.
And that was the main distributor in Texas, which was based in Houston, Southwest Wholesale. So I showed them that I already had sales experience, or my CD was selling in Hastings, and they picked me up.
Yeah.
And they just started distributing. It was on from there.
Now, see, and see, that would, for most entrepreneurs and business people's story, that'll be enough. You feel me? That'll be like, okay, that was great. I can see where you laid the foundation. But, Larry will tell you, man, I spent some time on the West Coast. I want to say I was on the West Coast for about almost 8 years. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that caught my attention way from Las Vegas, and when I was in LA, they were saying, President making movies now.
Movies, man, yes.
President making movies now. I remember the first time I got a call and was like, President Movies is in the red box. So I don't want to fast forward through your entrepreneurial journey too quickly, but could you just share about the transition from music to films and how your experience dealing with Southwest Wholesale and Hastings prepared you to do the deal with Redbox?
It was the same situation. Shout out to my brother, Frank White, my big
Come on,
brother.
man, like the real Frank White.
Shout out to Frank White, no doubt about it. Yep.
So he wanted to do movies.
Bet.
that was his vision right there. I was still kind of in the music lane, like still want to do the CDs, but I knew that, hey, this is a good lane.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I knew this was a good lane, and I knew that he could act, you know, and so he wanted to film a movie. So I helped him finance the first movie.
Yeah.
And once he got done with it, it was the same scenario. He went and got distribution with Maverick.
That's what's up, man.
So Maverick Distribution, that's how we got into the red boxes and a lot of the stream. Well, back then it wasn't streaming.
Yeah.
It was either red box or you was in different stores or whatever. But yeah, it's the same thing, just finding distribution.
Now, was the first movie the real estate the one that was based off of?
When I was buying a house in South Park,
I'm just
based
saying,
on real estate.
Come on, man. That's all I'm saying is
was.
like these cats was doing the scenarios of what everyone has been trying to do over the last 5 years. They were putting that play together back then because you had to have some knowledge of that in order to put that on film. The way they put it on film, we're talking almost 20 years ago.
Because you know what's crazy? That part of the movie was based on my experience.
Yeah.
Because I had moved to Houston. Like I was doing the music. I moved to Houston and ended up buying some property in South Park.
Yeah.
Right.
Shout out to South Park.
Come on, man.
Exactly. Man, pure hustle. You know, t-shirts about to go down, man. Yep. But I bought some property over there and, you know, kind of new to it. And the recession hit and I'm losing money on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what I was just trying new things. But, yeah, that part was in the movie.
Yeah, man, I remember. Yeah. No doubt, man.
Now, you know, it's funny because cool thing is that Larry does trainings at our real estate brokerage. We talk about marketing, getting out there, guerrilla marketing, hand to hand, being a man of the people, shaking hands and kissing babies. Larry, could you share with the audience about how you've seen so much of yourself in Kirk in the way that they do their grassroots marketing? How you done seen him out on the block shaking hands, kissing babies,
literally
getting it going.
Listen, this man was running as a politician at one point. Y'all better stop playing, man. Kirk, I mean, President had his hand in on everything, man. I remember, was that like 5 years ago?
Yeah,
3 to 5 years ago?
Yeah, about 5 years ago, yeah.
Come on, man.
No, because, you know, we always talk about how you'll be anywhere in the world and see LarryWBrooks in the corner and be like, Larry, what you doing here? But I feel you, Prez, you the same way.
Yeah,
like,
man.
You could be in Atlanta, Miami, LA, New York, turn around, you're like, Prez, what's going on? So how important do you feel your success or how important do you think your grassroots marketing and the way that you don't cower away, you don't have a fear of meeting strangers and going out in places and just jumping in and networking. How do you feel like that's actually contributed to your success?
Man, it's a huge part of it because first of all, you have to, coming from that CD hustle, that out the trunk hustle, it makes you a salesman.
Yeah.
You can't be scared because you got to get more customers. It's not like the online game now where you're able to make a post and people know you're out. What none of that. Only way they was gonna know you was out was you gonna have to go and hand out flyers. Ain't no posting this post and you got this many followers and all your followers know, hey, he got a new song out. No, you gotta literally go hand in hand these joints out. So that right there, experiencing that is what helped me as far as marketing in today's climate. You know what I mean? That really
and gave you tough skin, right?
It gave you tough skin.
There's nothing like me handing you my joint that I done put work into, that I know is special, and then you handed it back to me saying no or whatever, you know, whatever that might be, or nah, I only, you know what? Because sometimes people just hostile and you don't even know why, and you just out here trying to get money. And learn a different sales technique. I was telling my son the other day they was raising money for the school. And I think I was telling him the other day, I was like, back in the days, something like this, we'd have to go door to door. And I'd have to give somebody the candy box and be like, it's this much. Like, not just assuming the sale. You know, I ain't even asking you if you want it. I'm just like, hey, here you go, hold this, you know. Then assuming the sale. You know, it's like those things are like kind of out of the trunk. Like, it's crazy, but it gives you tough skin.
It gives you, because you're going to hear a lot of no's. Yeah. You got to hear a lot of no's in order to hear a yes.
Yeah.
It's a numbers game. Like, you're going to have to do it.
Yep.
And you know, man, I thank you so much because, you know, we may be having entirely too much fun during this interview.
We are,
but you know, when fam in the building, fam in the building.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
But we're going to take a break. But when we come back, man, I would love for you to speak with our audience a little bit about Exotic Pop,
Yeah.
the brand you've had featured here with you today, how all your experiences as a marketer, as a brand ambassador, as an entrepreneur has culminated in helping you bring such a strong brand to the masses.
Yeah.
And share a little bit with the audience about Exotic Pop, where the vision came from and how they could go about supporting the movement, man.
Facts. Yep.
I want to thank everybody for tuning into the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. The Texas Real Estate King, Prez D, and myself will be right back after we hear from our sponsors.
Be right back.
I'm serial entrepreneur Larry W. Brooks, and I'd like to personally invite you to take a closer look at the Pure Hustle clothing brand, along with several books that I've authored to take entrepreneurs, small business owners to the next level of their business. So please take a look at shoplwb.com. How do you survive?
3 years ago, I set out on a mission to create the blueprint for how we could go into our own neighborhoods, buy blocks, renovate them, and combat the negative effects of gentrification. Today, that vision is reality. Our project is located in the heart of the historic Lyons Avenue Business District in 5th Ward of Houston. Lyons Avenue was once a thriving black business district with businesses and commerce. However, after desegregation, that all changed. Now, we are recreating that legacy. These buildings are 100 years old. We just gave them a new life. This house was built in 1925 and was vacant for years. It's now a podcast studio and is rented out as an event space for everything from engagement parties to TV commercials, music videos. City Council even had meetings here. We've had birthday parties. We've had baby showers. And the $5,000 to $10,000 a month generated in this building.
This is Prime Real Estate Rick, and I'm here to present to you this week's Prime Real Estate Network Home Buyer Insider. This beautiful 4-bedroom, 2 and 1.5 bath home is located in the highly sought after Hanover Forest community in North Harris County. This beautiful property can be you and your family's private sanctuary from all the hustle and bustle of big city living. Reach out to the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks, or myself, Mr. Prime Real Estate Ric Davis, to schedule you and your family's private showing today. Welcome back to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. I'm your host, Ric Davis. You can follow me on Instagram at Prime Real Estate Ric. My co-host, as you see here, holding it down, pure hustle down as always, is the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks.
Yes, sir.
Our special guest this week is Mr. Kirk White, brand ambassador, professional marketer, entrepreneur, better known the world over as Prez D, man. Brother, how you doing, man? It's good to see you in here with us, man.
Doing good.
Hey, man, look, we've talked about a lot of your entrepreneurial and business journey, and it's just, I hope that members of our audience who've had a chance to work with you, who are interacting and doing business with you right now, can truly appreciate the road that you've traveled in the evolutionary process to get to the point where you can be such a successful brander and marketer. Could you talk to our audience a little bit about the Exotic Pop brand that you represent today, the drinks, the movement, and the creativity and the uniqueness of the brand and how it came to fruition?
Yeah, give them that vision, man.
Come on, man.
The vision, man. Whew. It's been a long journey. That's all I can say, man. But one of the things that we wanted to highlight as far as Exotic Pop is the Houston culture.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because people all over the world, they love Houston culture, whether it's swangers, whether it's the music, the slang, the style, the swag, whatever. You know, so all of that is bottled up and packaged.
That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
And just like coming from the music game, this is the new merch.
Mm-hmm.
This is the new merch. So artists now, when you do a show, okay, you might have shirts, you might have, things like that. But what about having your own drink to sell at your show? That's, without having the CDs, this is the new physical product that artists can really use to promote, market. A lot of these drinks have the QR code. It's a new way to really get yourself out there and brand yourself.
The great thing about the way that you set up your brand and the way that you move is that you stay on the pulse of what's trending right now.
Mm-hmm.
You work with those artists that are relevant as we speak, those up and coming artists. As somebody who's been a business owner for more than 20 years, what have you noticed as the best thing about working with these new younger entrepreneurs?
Man,
Because they have so many avenues at their fingertips. They have so much information that I'm proud of when I see those young guys out there, like you say, with a drink, being a music artist, but then diversifying, investing in real estate, trying to build apartments. Because, you know, back in the 90s, back in the early 2000s, I don't think those avenues were open to artists and musicians the way they are now. So what inspires you now working with that new generation entrepreneur?
Man, I mean, they're a whole lot sharper than us, than we were at their age, because they have access to so much information.
Right.
It's just a blessing because I learn a lot from them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I teach a lot, but I learn a lot from them because the way that they use their social media and use the new way of marketing and breaking songs and doing TikToks and it's so many different there's so many different ways and things that they have access to that we didn't. I sit back and learn. And one thing on how we pick which artists to work with is more of the up and coming.
Right.
More of the up and coming. I want to know who's next before they're next. Like just really I stay on social media all day long just looking, you know what I'm saying, for different songs. Let me see who I like how he moving. I like how this guy's moving. They might be the next one we might need to do a collab with.
Yeah.
You know, just paying attention to that and how they market themselves because they know this is a real business now. You know, it's about music, but it's really about business and marketing. They understand that a little more than what I did at that age.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I understood it, but they really understand it because of social media. They have to.
Yeah, now they seeing it more. Yeah, because
You
we're seeing
have
more
to.
people talking about those other avenues, those other streams of income. Don't leave it on the table. Back in the days, I'm sure when y'all were thinking about how much y'all love the passion of the music.
Right.
Well, most guys would probably think about how much they love the passion of the music, and that's what it was for them, and not all of the other incomes and things that could come from it. Because now you can be your own commercial, right?
You could be your own commercial.
Yeah.
And it's guys that they might do music, but they making more money off their merch than they doing their music.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
can see that.
the thing about Exotic Pop, and you mentioned it, but it's so true, is how the brand and the beverage totally encapsulates everything about Houston culture.
Right.
And so many people from Houston travel all over the world in the military, through business, through family, that having something that they can see and the brand and just feels like H-Town is something. So tell me how you feel the response to Exotic Pop has been from the general public, especially here in the local Houston area.
Wow. I mean, it's been a blessing just to see so many people affected by it and just loving what we're doing.
Facts. Yeah.
You know, even like this Vanessa Gillian water. You know, we donated all proceeds, all profits went to her family.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and just getting a response and able to be a blessing to others. You know, I love being a part of this team and being one of the founders. You know, seeing that vision in my guy Charleston, seeing that vision in him. I was working at the bank.
Yeah.
And he was actually my customer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just meeting him, and he was telling me and him used to be on the phone talking about what we were going to do and how it was going to happen. And it's just crazy to see everything come into fruition. Like it's crazy.
Wow. That's what's up, man.
Now, you know, because of course, Larry and I, we move around a little bit. So, you know, we go to different restaurants. Larry heavy on the south side. So, you know, he know the corner stores, the bodegas, the shops where the Exotic Pop coolers are,
everywhere,
the drinks. But for those who might be stuck on the north side or for those who might not be here in Houston locally, could you just share with the audience how they could go about supporting the brand, how they could go about getting drinks, getting merch, or just staying tapped in with the movement as a whole?
Now, if you're on social media, Exotic Pop, at Exotic Pop, that's the Instagram. If you're on the north side, I'm gonna just tell you a few spots that we
Come
got.
on, that's what I'm
deep
talking
over there too.
You could have told the north side where it's
Hey
at.
man, I just know it's everywhere. I'm seeing everybody with a cup, double cup in their
you
hand.
double
I'd have been
cup,
to the
baby.
events, so that's what I'm saying. I'd have
Yeah,
been at the
yeah,
movie
yeah.
theater.
So where the
with
Exotic
events,
Pop at on the
so-
north, brother?
You got Big City Foods.
Oh, word.
You know the grocery store right there on Homestead.
Yeah.
You got Big City Foods. You got Bunny Stop, which is also on Homestead. It's 2 stores. Bunny Stop. Where else we at? On the north side. We're getting ready to get inside of Burns Barbecue.
Okay. Okay.
No, that's good. That's a good
That's
look.
a collab.
That's a good look.
It's
That's
a collab. We've been working on this collab for a minute.
Yeah.
We breaking news here, baby. Don't act like you not getting that for sure. First shot right here on the show.
Burns is gonna be huge.
Right.
Where else are we at on the north side? I know I'm missing something. We're in a lot of gas stations on the north side.
No doubt.
A lot of gas stations. The Heights. We're in a few stores in the Heights as well.
What can they find there? If they were looking for a list or they just fall in the IG page, maybe it's being posted there.
Well, you can go to exoticpop.com.
Okay.
Exoticpop.com. Also, if you know of any stores, they know any stores, let us know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Get in contact with me at PresD on
Hey, look.
Instagram.
That would
What
go
my
right
man
there.
saying is, if you go in your corner store and the Exotic Pop not in the cooler, hit him up on
Hit
IG
me up.
and we'll make something happen.
And I'm going to tell you what's even crazy. It goes right back to the same scenario.
Yeah.
What we were just talking about. I got with distribution, like I deal with the distribution of this as well.
Yeah.
So the same thing when I was saying I went to Southwest Wholesale to get distribution. With this, we have distribution. I went to certain distributors and put the Exotic Pop in there. So if you do own a store, we are at certain wholesale spots. Like B&G is a wholesale company, a distributor on the north side.
Yeah.
So if you own a smoke shop or a store, you can go to B&G and purchase the Exotic Pop wholesale as well.
Come on, man.
Stop,
My
man.
God.
Get out of here, man. Stop it.
And once you create the blueprint, you just duplicate it.
Come on, that's what
And
it
it can be duplicated around different industries, man. I'm telling you.
Hey, look, man. So contact info for corporations, companies, and brands that might want to collab with you. Same contacts. They can reach out to you directly on
Reach
IG.
out to me personally at PresD or at exoticpop_HOU.
Yeah.
Okay. Bet. Man, look, man, this we can do this all day. Man.
Yeah, we can talk.
man.
I want to thank you so much, brother, because it's been an honor and a pleasure, man, to have you sit in. Like Larry mentioned, this has been an interview that we've had on the docket, man, that we wanted to get out for so long, man. So I want to appreciate you, man, because I know how it is.
Man, I'm excited. I was so excited to come to the show. My birthday in 2 days.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
no,
you
don't
know,
say that unless we get
It's
that.
a birthday present right here, just to even
no,
come
we
in and
gonna
get on the show.
Man, no doubt. And it wasn't difficult at all, man. You reach out to Prez, it's love. It's always love.
Man.
Come on,
So,
man. Look,
yeah.
I urge everybody, man, follow PresD, follow Exotic Pop, support the brand, go to the
Yes,
website.
indeed.
If you go to your corner store and they don't have it, hit my man on IG. He'll get it in there for you, man.
Yes, indeed.
Mr. Brooks,
Yes,
we're
sir.
at that part of the show where we talk about what's going on for the rest of this week and this weekend in the world of Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm and what's going on socially with the Texas Real Estate King.
Well, as you know, we always got a long list of stuff at Brooks and Davis.
You already
follow
know I
the
ain't
IG page. I drop the flyer there every day about what's going on. But in addition, shout out to the 100 Black Man tonight. At the Warwick, we'll be doing a hanging with the 100. So for those of you that are in the area of the Galleria, stop by, hang out with us, have some food, have some drinks with the 100.
Come on, man. Support the 100, man.
Yeah.
All those gentlemen over there are doing fine work.
Yeah.
They're giving back to the community.
Taking
and
care of the
they are
kids,
supporting
man.
and inspiring that next generation. So we want to give a big, huge shout out to them
Yes, indeed.
because we know that's invaluable work that everybody
Yeah, I'm
over
going to
there
take
is
off the
doing.
cap and throw on, a
Oh, you
jacket
gonna get
for 'em.
fresh?
Might throw a jacket on for 'em.
Oh, there
You know
it
what
is.
I'm saying?
Look here,
I
man.
mix it up.
Look, for
I'm
y'all.
like Prez, man. We mix it
Yeah,
up.
we
Hey,
mix
man,
it
for
up.
those who wasn't thinking about going, just know, man, he putting the jacket on, so that should clinch it for everybody. I want to thank the Texas Real Estate King as always, brother. Appreciate you for holding it
Fam.
down. I want to thank Mr. Kirk White,
Yes,
man,
sir.
for holding it down, representing,
appreciate
man,
you.
and inspiring not only the people around you, but the next generation, man. Keep doing what
Appreciate
you're
it.
doing.
Indeed.
Big, huge shout out to your brother, Frank, man. Next time you got to hold it down with us, too.
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody, man. If you need anything, Mr. Brooks and myself are available 24/7. You can reach out to us on IG, email, direct message. If you are a real estate practitioner or you are a student thinking about where you want to have and where you want to start your real estate journey, go to brooksanddavis.com. You can find out everything about the brokerage. Schedule a time to talk to everyone there. We would love to bring you into the Brooks and Davis family. I want to thank everyone out there for watching us this week. In the meantime, in between time, if you need anything, we're always there. And until next Thursday, everyone in the audience, please be safe and be blessed.
Be blessed.